brought me sprinkle cookies.
So what, no fucking TV now? Hey!
Maybe she's from Jersey.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Maybe She's from Jersey. First off, before we start to introduce our beautiful guest, we are going to shout out our favorite place to hive. Sadly, no cinnamon bun because I guess it's not a weekend, but, you know, we'll try next time. This time I did not get the normal cold brew black. I actually got a latte. So there's that.
Changing it up. I got a cappuccino with oat milk. I think this has 3 shots in it.
Oh my God.
It's a good day.
Souped up.
Are you going to be okay?
Yeah, I know, right? Jen, what did you get?
I got a flat white decaf.
So today we have a very successful, famous entrepreneur with us who we have been trying to track down for months. Apologies in advance. But this is Jennifer from Hoboken Girl.
Hi.
Thanks so much for joining us.
This is so fun, and I feel like not successful and not famous. But thank you.
No, that is so true. I was like, what are the best words I can describe her as? We've literally been messaging her for months, like literally stalking her,
stringing you guys along. But I so appreciate your patience.
It's okay. Honestly, it was worth the wait.
It was worth the wait. So we're so excited for this episode today. So if you don't know Hoboken Girl,
what are you doing
on social media, first of all?
Yeah.
And second of all, perfect time for you to tune into this podcast because we're going to be asking her all the questions. We're so excited to get to know a little more about you and just chat our way into this morning. So.
And if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, this is your episode.
This is it right here. So do you go by Jen or Jennifer?
I'm Jen.
Jen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to start by telling us a little bit about you and how Hoboken Girl became a thing?
Sure, yeah. So I started Hoboken Girl when I was 25. I won't tell you how many years ago that was.
2 years ago.
I moved to Hoboken for a job. I worked in education, and I honestly was just kind of lonely here, and I was not really meeting people. My grandparents actually had textile factories in the Hudson County area. So I was super familiar with Hoboken, but never to live here, you know? And so,
it's overwhelming.
Yeah, it's a really awesome place and there's so much to do, but there's there felt like there was nothing to connect me to anything. So I honestly just I had a background a little bit in communications from college, and I just started writing about really all the things that I was doing, because it was really when blogging was first
when it was trendy.
Yeah, it was 2012. Oh yeah, I gave you the date. But so I really started just writing about all the different places I would go, and it was when Facebook, Twitter were really more of the thing. Instagram had just come out, and I just started writing about all the different places that I would go. And I really felt like there was no female voice in Hoboken. Fast forward, I was working as a school counselor in Bloomfield, New Jersey, right now near Montclair, and I decided to. I was still working there, but about 3 or 4 years into doing Hoboken Girl just on the side, I said, I really love media. I want to be a magazine editor. I don't know if it's of Hoboken Girl, but I want to do this. So I ended up getting a job at Condé Nast at Brides Magazine.
What a 360.
It was
crazy.
From
school, education.
Yeah, and I loved education. I still love education. But I ended up moving into editorial. I worked at Brides Magazine for about 2 years.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was a social media, I did their social media coordination. I was also a digital editor. And then I decided in 2017, I was like, I have to, Hoboken Girl was really growing and I really couldn't keep up with both.
And it was just you at this point?
It was, me until about 2014, and then I hired my first part-timer marketing person to help me, Kate Lombardo. Love her. She's still part of Things We Do, and she lives locally. But she helped me so much with the marketing stuff, and then it just really took off from there. We 2017 took it full time, and then here we are. And it's really grown since I was able to focus on it.
What was the moment that you were like, okay, I actually think I want to make this a full-time thing?
Because that's a huge commitment.
Yeah.
It was really scary. I had a mentor who runs a mom site in New Jersey, and she said, once you can really supplement your income the exact same of what you're making
Right.
at your job, even though right now you're like doing both and you're getting double income. Like you really need to make sure you can supplement it, and honestly health benefits. That was a big thing, you know? So I just really made sure that I was ready. I did not rush. It took me 10 years to be here. And then in 2021, right in the middle of the pandemic, we launched the Montclair Girl, which basically we realized that we could, it's really fun. And we realized that there's so many cool North Jersey towns, and it just felt like a good next step for expansion. And we started the Local Girl parent brand, which is essentially going to be empowering women in their communities to create these communities for themselves.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So.
That's really cool. It clearly like grew up from that.
Yeah.
Oh, what a glow up.
Yeah, it's amazing to kind of see like our first website to now. It's just very different. Like,
well, you got our attention.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's like 10 times more rewarding though, because you did it from the start, like from the ground up. And like, I think that's so refreshing, because I know, like, I just clicked on a Hoboken Girl one day and I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. And look at all the engagement and the followers, and oh wow. And I literally look on Hoboken Girl to like where I should go out to dinner sometimes.
I feel that way
like
about Montclair.
Yeah.
I love that. That makes me so happy.
But it's so cool to
the
sit
goal.
here with you and like and hear how you did it from the ground up. Like that's just like, that probably feels so incredible to you.
Yeah, I mean, thank you so much. It really still doesn't feel real in a lot of ways. Like sometimes I'm like, what are we doing? What's happening? Like, you know, but we have a team of 4 full-timers, and we have freelance contributors that live locally in both places. And, you know, we're for locals by locals is kind of our motto. And people don't realize, they think like, oh, you're the Hoboken Girl. I'm like, no. We are the Hoboken Girl. There's like 20, 30 people like you. And I've always wanted to be like behind the curtain. It was never going to be, you know, in the beginning it was of course my journey, but it never, that wasn't the goal for me.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I thought her name was Hoboken Girl for the last 3 months.
A lot of people still say that. I'm like, nope. Just one of them.
It's on our birth
Sometimes I don't even
certificate.
realize I started it. I'm like, nope, just one of them.
That's funny. I honestly look at the Montclair page because we went to school there. So it's like one,
MSU?
nostalgic,
Yeah.
and also like, oh, when I go back, like, let me try new things.
And there's so much coming to Montclair and just the surrounding areas. It's crazy.
I love it. I don't even know if this is a question, but I wanted to ask you, what is like, I know you said you have like meetings later. Like, what is a normal day for Hoboken Girl, aka Jen?
Yeah, so I mean, and when we say it, I really do run at this point a small media company. So it is really day-to-day varies. But I would say that my mornings, every morning at 10:15, we have an editorial meeting, and I'm part of that with like my 3 other our edit team. And so it's stuff like that where it's kind of not hard news. It's, you know, there is some, of course, and they go off, they write articles, they're editing, doing, you know, different things with our freelance writers, just like, you know,
That's
a
so
normal,
fun.
Just like a normal, you know, newsroom or editorial setting. And then I'm more business development now and working on our larger brand, the Local Girl. So I do a lot with our legal team, and I work with our web developer, kind of the bigger stuff in that way, kind of looking over the business.
Does your husband ever try and step in and be like, I can be your accountant?
Oh gosh, no. He's honestly the best. Like he's like my number 1 fan, but he is also like, you know, way more than me about
He's
all
like,
of this.
this is yours.
Yeah. He's like, he is our sports contributor though, in a way. Like
there
he
you go.
really, his family was in the NBA and NFL, like in New Jersey. So he is very, and he was a college coach, so he's very, and I'll be like, is this a good spot to watch football, like, that we included in this article? He's like, no, take that out. Like, you know?
Are you not a sports person?
I'm not, I won't even lie to anyone.
Either.
Yeah, I can't do it.
I like the food at these sports parties.
Exactly.
And if I were to be invited for free to
Yes. And even then, sometimes I'm like, this is a lot. Like, I feel like I want to eat, I want to drink maybe, but like.
Oh, do you like get noticed in Hoboken or when you go out places? Because I know you said you don't want to be like the face of the brand, but obviously like I know you through Hoboken Girl.
Sure.
So
I'm assuming you're not ordering your coffee and it says Hoboken.
Yeah, no. No, and it's, you know, maybe 5 years ago more, because I've really taken a step back and I let my team really, you know, if we get event invites, they're going, you know, usually I want everyone to be involved, and our writers go to events. in general, it's surreal a little bit because Hoboken is such a tightly knit town.
Yeah.
But I don't think people realize like sometimes that I am a human. Like, and I literally stay at home, watch Bravo, hang out with my dogs, order takeout.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not doing anything crazy. I literally don't got to like if I do, I'm like paying for my dinner and I'm just like picking where I want to go.
Yeah, that's so funny.
I mean, I'm sure you get inspired from all the stuff that your editors find and whatnot.
Oh yeah, they are amazing, and our writers have such cool. I mean, we really try to employ a unique, diverse group of writers. So it's not just people who have just moved to Hoboken or have a specific interest. We have one writer. He's a dad in town. I love that. And he writes about history, and it's the coolest articles. Like he writes about like the first kindergarten in the U.S. was in Hoboken, and just like who knew? Who would have known?
That's adorable.
Yeah, so it's really fun in that way.
That's incredible.
I'm there for the food, but
the food is that's a big part of it. And of
kind
course
of
I love people that's for the most part. Yes.
Yeah. Where to get a good drink. Has anyone like not liked something that they, like a restaurant or whatever, and do you guys just choose not to talk about it, or?
Yeah, it's a really good question because you kind of get both sides. We sometimes will write about stuff and it's truly like the writer's feelings. They really like the restaurant, and then someone's like, oh, I hated that restaurant. Like the food was bad, the service was poor. You should never write about them again. And we're like, we had a good experience. I mean, maybe you didn't, but we do take those into account, especially if they're like serious accusations. But we really aim to be positive. Okay. We don't really, there's other meme accounts or different things that will dog a place, but that's just not our vibe. We kind of just focus on what we like. And we just, I don't want to say we ignore the rest, but we just acknowledge the rest and just, maybe not like put it to the forefront.
Right.
Gotcha.
Do you guys get asked to like sample a place, or I know you said you go to events, but
like, media in general, when you work in media, you get invites all the time.
Like here.
But it's, basically, we really have our content calendar and we pick what we want to write about. But it works on both sides because sometimes people are like, oh, that person definitely paid you to write about them. And we're like, no, actually, like we just wrote about it because it was a cool spot. And, so it's hard balancing just people's expectations and what they think we're doing versus what we're actually doing.
Gotcha.
Can I piggyback off that?
Yeah.
How do you guys make money?
We work with digital ads, so like Google ads we have on the site, and then we also do local advertisements. Okay. So if we ever do a sponsored content piece, it's always marked as like sponsored.
Gotcha.
So I would say 95% of our stuff is editorial, but then we have digital ads that are on the site, kind of like a billboard ad, if you will.
Right.
And then we have, the way people can partner with us is like through a series of like sponsor content pieces or something like that.
And if someone ever wanted to like do a collaboration with you that was financially incentive, would you be the person to make that decision, or are there other people involved?
I have two marketing people on our team who are amazing, and I also do that. So it's kind of like I kind of just oversee everything. We are very picky though. We don't just
rightfully so.
Yeah,
we don't
let anybody on our podcast.
You have to be, because then people, you lose credibility. I mean, we just do what feels true to the brand and our readers and what our readers would really like to do. We've partnered with like PNC before because people want to go there for concerts, or Whole Foods we've done, or things like that. But we also work with local mom and pop shops, so it's really just what we kind of want to do.
Yeah. I think it also comes across, like I see on certain Instagram pages, like who's just like taking sponsors just for the paycheck, and who's actually, like you said, like
curating. Yeah,
about credibility. And like I'm just very like, I'll go on a Hoboken Girl and I know nothing on there is bullshit, because I just feel like you build like trust with the Instagram account or just the business in general when it's more specific. And that's like the best thing you can possibly do. My mentor talks to me about that all the time. He's like, you can't just take acceptance from everybody. Like, you got to pick the ones that
something.
Yeah, literally. It's literally just like, you just kind of have to be very specific in what fits best with your brand, what rings true with you, what are you passionate about, because that's 100%. It's gonna show. Like, it's gonna come through the photo, it's gonna come through the video. It's just like,
and it's funny because sometimes our freelancers will pitch us stuff, and we had an article recently. It was like the free IKEA ferry. Yeah, I don't know if you saw it. It went pretty viral on our page, and people were so excited about it, but then someone was like, oh, IKEA clearly paid you to do this. And we were like, no, we're literally just posting about this.
We're just excited.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
And it's just, people do just not understand that sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
95% of what we do is just editorial, all of it. And we're always super transparent. Like, obviously, having a background in editorial, FTC guidelines, all of that stuff, you have to be so transparent with people.
Sure.
So
I think there's something so special about it coexisting if you did do like a paid sponsorship and you're passionate about it. Like, that kind of goes back to the credibility thing, is you're not just going to take whatever comes your way. It's more of a specific thing. So you are genuinely passionate about it. Otherwise you would have declined it. So
100%.
I think those things can coexist. And I think sometimes people forget on the internet that like that is your job, you know? So at some point you do need to get paid, but like
we have to
you
keep the
also
roof
enjoy
over our
it.
heads.
Exactly.
I assume that you guys, like, do you guys get contacted by, maybe not like restaurants, but like influencers, or like, because
sometimes,
I know
yeah.
your
Sometimes we'll write about them too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're like Hoboken influencers that like you guys are cool with?
Yeah, like I just reached out recently to Nicole Pellegrino.
Oh yeah.
Who we were chatting about potentially doing like a takeover. So we'll do like fun stuff like that, where
That's awesome.
and then there's other people, you know, that have done takeovers. Like we're working, you know, Kate, she just goes by @Kate on TikTok.
I've heard of her before.
She's a local foodie influencer.
Yes, yeah.
And she's doing, we just wrote about her. So it's usually editorial fun stuff.
That's awesome.
And I'll help with those types of partnerships. And I say partnerships, they're not really, they're just
know what you mean.
coverage.
And how to like, sorry, I'm just like, if you have any questions, cut me off. How do you guys go as far as like hiring people? Like, what do you look for?
It's a good question. We really look for people who have experience in the field now, you know, but I've hired a lot of teachers who are leaving their profession.
You're like, I feel you.
I feel their yeah, I mean, I think it's just passion for the content and everything. A lot of skills can be taught, and we've taught people from, we have actually a lot of paid interns. We'll do like one paid internship per semester, and then sometimes they're so good that we honestly keep them. And like Sam on our team was, she went to like a seminar I was talking at with our web developer who's her professor, so random, at Montclair State. And then we hired her as an intern, and then she's now our editorial assistant full time.
So did you grow up in Jersey?
Oh yes, I grew up in Northwest New Jersey.
Okay, so did you? I wrote here, if you ever went out in Hoboken or like Belmar or any of the like iconic Jersey spots, even growing up, do you have any funny stories or crazy night out kind of stories?
Oh my gosh. Well, I moved to Hoboken when I was like 22. So I've been here for a long time. Yeah, it was like last week. So I've been going out in Hoboken for a very long time. And I mean, there's always just so many things that happen, but I really was here when St. Patty's Day was like real.
Wow.
Like Leprechaun is like
religious.
It was like people would come from all over. If one friend had a house in Hoboken, apartment, everyone came.
Wow.
Everyone wore green. And it wasn't even just 20-somethings. It was families. There was a parade throughout Washington Street. It was so much fun.
That's funny.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Where'd you go to school?
Lehigh.
Okay.
Lehigh. Okay, that's PA, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So not Jersey, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Everyone at Lehigh is from Jersey, though.
Oh, really?
So many people from Lehigh live in Hoboken.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hoboken's
That's so
just so expensive.
It is expensive.
And it's crazy. My first apartment here was $1,300 for a 1-bedroom.
Wow. Now it's like a 3-bedroom apartment. You're each paying like $1,400. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
I was just walking and I saw like those modern, like very nice, like townhouses, I guess. Like they're the whole entire like strip.
Oh, yeah. You're fancy.
I'm like, that's gotta be like $7 million. Like,
yeah, I think they're usually like between 3 to 5.
that's insane.
And they were in the 70s or 80s. You could buy them here. My husband's grandfather also owned like a beer distributor company, and he would like drive to Hoboken all the time. And he's like, you could buy a brownstone for $10,000.
Oh my God. Mm-hmm. Wild.
It's crazy.
we missed out.
Yeah.
I wasn't born yet, but we missed out.
My dad used to own property in
I wasn't
Hoboken.
either, to be clear.
What, you were here 2000?
It was like
No, so that was sold.
10, yeah.
So my dad had an auto body here called Plaza Classic Cars.
way.
Yeah, for a really long time. I think that was sold in like 2008. And then he had on Washington Street for a while, Urban Chicken and Rib.
Oh, that sounds familiar, but I don't know if I ever saw it.
I feel like that was gone maybe 2012.
Okay,
like it
so
was
maybe
like
right around.
Yeah.
I was starting to like look at businesses in a different light.
Yeah, he was over the restaurant thing real fast, but
It's hard here. People, I give business owners here so much credit.
Yeah.
You live, like you said, a few blocks from
Yeah.
here. Like, do you want to stay here, or is this just because you're really like immersed in your work? Or
No, I mean we're lifers
Yeah.
as far as I know.
we're lifers.
for lifers.
My husband if my husband could move to Manhattan though, he would.
Okay.
I love Hoboken because it's got that.
Both. You get both.
You really like we're going out to dinner in the city tonight, but we're coming home and it's like
Yeah.
that was really the first time I truly realized I wanted to move to Hoboken. I got off the path to visit my friend and I felt like the city buzzing in my head, and then I just got off and I was like, oh, I can breathe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it is. I mean, I love New Jersey in that sense. I just feel like we do get a bad rep like across the country, but I just
All
don't think
over.
people realize how amazing our state is.
Yeah.
I know we're biased, but
It's fair.
There's so much Jersey pride too, but
It,
for
there
a
is.
reason.
It really is because there's mountains, there's lakes, there's beaches,
You're technically like 35 minutes from everything.
truly.
The beach, the city.
Maybe except Atlantic City, but that's
Not me. Like, you're not 35
well,
minutes
you're in
from me.
Bumblefuck. So do you have any like 5-year goals for Hoboken Girl, or just like the local girl, or any sort of like long-term goals you guys are like shooting for?
Yeah, like tell us when you're free in 2 years so we can then schedule it now.
yeah, the local girl is what I've been building in the last year. We're working on almost a curriculum, like a course to really empower
Is that
women
academia?
to, yeah, I know. I got to always bring it back to education. But we're working on a course to really empower women to do this in their own communities. So creating and we own like a ton of domains.
That's awesome.
So there's some that they can pick from, or they can create their own, or they've already created their own platform, but they're looking to monetize it and actually create a career out of it.
Yeah.
You should do like a course at Montclair, like an adjunct. Like,
Yeah.
You know, I've actually talked
how
to
to
them about
succeed in
it.
Hoboken without really trying.
Or New Jersey.
Yeah. I've done some social media panels and seminars with them, but yeah, the course it's a lot of work to I
I'm
give
sure.
professors a lot of credit.
How do you turn it off? Like, how do you walk? Because I'm sure your
Yeah.
phone blows up 24/7. I check our Instagram, even though we have someone, Christy, who runs it.
Yeah.
But I'm always like, Christy, did you see this? She's like, no, I was peeing. Yeah. Like, well,
It's hard. We actually take shifts in a way for actual Hoboken Girl and the Montclair Girl. People are checking our DMs. Sometimes I'm checking it, but for the most part, it's our
Yeah.
team. And I mean, it's hard. I will not
Is it on
sit
your
here
phone?
and yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's all on my phone. I can't not, because sometimes I'm not home for half the day doing
Yeah.
stuff like this, and I have to know what's going on.
Right.
We have Slack on our phone. I mean, I think we're pretty good about like 9 to 6 is like time to like communicate with each other, but as far as social media, it is hard. I think that there are boundaries you always have to set. Like
Yeah.
what would you say like is your favorite aspect of the job and like your least favorite aspect of
gosh.
the job?
Favorite aspect is definitely how we've created a community where we actually aren't just producing content, but we're interacting with our readers. We're helping local businesses in so much of the editorial stuff that we do. Like a business opens, and then I see that, you know, the business, there's 60,000 views on a reel about a new donut shop that's local or
Yeah.
something, and
I love that.
they get new customers and they don't even know where they came from sometimes. They don't even know
Yeah.
about us,
That's
you
so
know?
great.
And you just feel it's so rewarding in that way. And then I do think also, you know, we do a lot with, we have a Hoboken Girl Helps is our charity arm. And we do a lot with, we do a period poverty drive every year. We raise, you know, period supplies. And then we also do things, you know, we've raised over in the last few years, $15,000 for various local organizations. We do a lot with like animal adoption. So that really is,
We love that one.
Using power for good. I love it.
Yeah. And then honestly, my least favorite, I would say, I mean, I love so many parts of it, but speaking of social media, working in media is not easy.
Yeah.
People say things to you online, and not, I say you, but like as in me, but it's, you know, to our team or just our brand, you know, that they would never say in person. They don't even know who we are.
Right.
And then it's like, we're also your neighbors. You know what I mean?
Right. Like people forget
that we're humans.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's that kind of feeling of, man, like,
you need
but it
me to
makes
go
you
somewhere.
Honestly,
Sometimes when she posts things, because like she's
you're a little famous.
like up and coming.
I wouldn't say that, but hopefully one day.
When people post like creepy or like mean things, I'm like, where do you live?
I know. People have no idea how, you know, we have like a screenshot collection.
Yeah.
So like
That's great.
There's a
You have
record.
receipts.
Yes, we do.
You guys
Just
are
in
a
case.
positive page, but I know there's other
People are
pages that will
messy.
literally post that person's user and be like, who is this? Find them.
Yeah.
That'd be me.
I know. We've always tried to take the high road with that,
Yeah.
but it is hard.
It's hard.
People just also are very unhappy.
Yes.
And so this sounds so, I guess, deep, but like going through grief this summer, my dog passed away. I had some other family tragedies, and it really like changes you. And I was like thinking about how so many people walk around all the time with this on their shoulders all the time. People say things that they don't even, you know, realize, especially online. Everyone has a voice now. So
Right.
I know.
it's a good thing, but it also can bring up a lot of shit.
Absolutely. And it definitely is like something like grieving can put things into perspective for people and can make them more appreciative, but then it can also do the opposite for some. And it makes them really angry and lash out at others. And it's like, do you follow Gary Vee?
Oh yeah. I
Love
Gary
him.
Vee.
And he actually walked into my work the other day and I was the only person
No
who knew him. And
way.
we have celebrities
freaked
walk in
out.
all the time. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, that's Gary Vee. And they were like, who is that? And I was like, that's what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
I was like, go follow him now. But he said once, and he was like, if somebody puts a negative comment
Yes.
on your social media, you should feel bad for them.
Yes.
Like,
and it's
you
so true.
It's like how could you be so
sad.
angry and sad that you would take the time out of your day to hurt somebody that you don't even know?
Yeah.
And it's like, that always is so frustrating. And it's like, does that really make you feel better? Like I didn't really grow up very competitive, and I grew up in like dance competitions and things like that. I know the arts, but I have no like competitive streak in me. I don't think other people around me need to lose for me to win.
Right.
I was taught that at a really young age. I've never felt that.
Yeah.
I've always thought there's enough good to go around always. And it's like, I feel like that's something that we should be taught like young in school, because we have this mentality that like we have to kill and we have to win and everyone else needs to fail. And it's like, well, not really. Like
No.
you can support each other.
People can be so terrible in that way, and it's so true. You just realize like how people are just angry and sad sometimes, and they don't know how to like outlet that in a productive way, like talking to a therapist or like telling the person that they're upset with like what's wrong, you know,
Going for a walk.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure being a school counselor, you heard of a lot of feelings and
Yeah.
had to
Honestly,
deal with.
that prepared me for this job in a
Makes
weird
sense.
way, because you try to come from a place of empathy. And a lot of times, sometimes people like message us things and we respond to most of our DMs that, we try to like figure out how to help them or what have you. But, it's hard. Sometimes people are just doing it to be mean. So you have to like draw the line.
Yeah.
How like involved is your husband in your career? If I know you said he's like, this is your thing, but since it's, I'm sure not, you shut off at 6. Is he involved? Does he like to go to things with you?
He'll come to, if we're invited to something, if I ask him to come, he usually will come.
Does he like the attention that you get? Like,
he's so chill. He's just a great, great person. So he doesn't faze him either way.
Yeah.
Which is really awesome. And
he's not trying to start like the little boy.
No. No, I've literally begged him to like start a column or write, because he's such a good writer. He had a podcast himself, and like he won't. He literally is like, oh yeah, just ask me sports questions, but I don't have time for this.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, we're super just like side by side, kind of like doing our thing, but he is like my confidant, you know what I mean? Like definitely.
I'm assuming you work like weekends too.
I do, but I've gotten really a lot better with boundaries of work life. And we have like a weekend writer who, if there's like something crazy, they'll write and publish.
That's great.
So they're like on call.
Yeah. And then our team kind of juggles. We have our social media accounts and we all have like a role in them. So someone's on in the morning, then someone will do like an afternoon post. So it's like well balanced, but it's taken us a while to get there. You learn so much and what people, what works. One social media person doesn't really work for us.
Yeah.
Like, it's just too much. So.
Do you ever have moments where because like we talked about, it's not really like a 9-to-5 job that you can clock out of. Like, did you ever have moments even when early on dating your now husband where like, you know, you're out at dinner and you're like, oh my God, I just have to answer this email. Like, was there ever like a conflict in your relationship, or what? I know you said he's kind of a workaholic too, so it balanced out, but.
I mean, yeah, there's times he'll be like, are you listening to me? Like, you're like telling me how work was. But I mean, I would say he's really understanding in that way.
That's great.
And sometimes he'll like send me stuff to be like, oh, look what, you know, what's happening over here. So yeah, but he's just a all around good dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah. He's like,
support
no,
the best.
You're not like paying attention to me or any of that. We're just two peas in a pod.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's the best. Ty.
Aww.
It is interesting because we're called Hoboken Girl, but we really are for everyone.
Well,
we have so many male readers.
It's actually just about Hoboken.
Yeah, exactly. Montclair Girl too. We're not gender specific at all.
I gotta be honest, though, not even pulling the sexist card. If it was called the Hoboken Man, I'd have much less trust. Like, the Hoboken Girl's perfect. I'm like, I trust you.
Hoboken Man.
Yeah, if it's a Hoboken Man, I'd be like, no.
That's actually a barber shop in town.
Is it?
Yeah.
The Hoboken
but that
Man?
makes sense. Like,
That does make sense.
Yeah.
I would not go there. Oh, who's your favorite Instagram account currently? Like an influencer or news, comedy, entertainment? Like, what's one that when they post, you're like, yes, I'm waiting for your content.
Oh my gosh, I love.
You don't have to say maybe she's from Jersey.
Besides us, obviously.
I am a huge Bravo fan. So I love Danny Pellegrino.
Okay.
I don't know if you know who that is.
I do.
Yeah, he is just the best. His podcast got me through the pandemic. It was like the only, when it was deep in the pandemic. But he just posts a lot of pop culture stuff too from the 90s. Locally, I mean, there's so many cool influencers. It's such a crazy place to be right outside of New York because so many people actually live in Hoboken and Jersey City.
Yeah.
And we cover a lot of Jersey City too.
Oh, there's a lot of like New York influencers.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you recommend personally that you are currently into right now? Like, do you have a coffee shop that you go to every day or a restaurant that you frequent?
I mean, truly, there's like Dolce and Salato, The Hive,
Love
Black
that
Rail
one.
Coffee. There's a lot of really great
We've
coffee
been to
shops.
those.
Yeah.
Mojo
Big fan.
is awesome.
I
They just
love
opened a
Mojo.
second location. I mean, so many good ones. Brook and Bell is awesome. It's a little higher price point, but then there's, you know, Mint Market is awesome.
Where's
it's on
that?
First Street. So
Okay.
good. And they have a Jersey City location.
Do you feel like having meetings all day, you get anything done? Are these
No.
meetings that like you're making decisions and things are happening, or you're like, we talked about this 2 days ago?
Yes and no. I'm a big, if it's an email that we can send, I
Same.
really do that. So it's mostly meetings with potential partners
Okay.
or, you know, things like that. And it's usually Zoom. And then I always block out some chunks for myself for like actual like head down work.
Well, is there anything you want to say about yourself or your business or anything you want people to know?
I mean, I'm really focused on, I work with a few local rescues. I'm a foster dog mom. So I do...
We're big animal lovers.
Yes, so I do rescue with Wise Animal Rescue. I recently, he passed away over the summer, but my French Bulldog really got me into rescue. He was diagnosed with brain cancer
God.
2 years ago, and it really just made me start thinking about like how to help other dogs, and so I really got involved. Have adopted 2 dogs since, and
Spiraled.
and we do a lot of rescue. And I even got my dad into transporting dogs. So he just transported a dog from Hoboken to in North Jersey yesterday. So
That's
it's
so
been really
funny.
rewarding. Yeah.
That's incredible.
And so,
Is it mainly dogs or is the animal rescue just any sort of animal?
Wise Animal Rescue, I actually don't know if they do. I think they just do dogs, but there may be some cats.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Do you guys, I think I've seen you guys post about that on Hoboken Girl too.
Yes, we do a ton of sharing about the local rescue. We work with any rescue that reaches out to us if they have dogs that they need adopted.
Aww.
And it's so rewarding because honestly, some of the dogs get adopted in Hoboken and Montclair, you know, all around. So
You're like, I did that.
Yeah.
no, and
That's-
it's
oh my
a total
gosh.
group effort of just, you know, everything. And it's really fun though to see. It's really rewarding.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Dogs are the best.
If Hoboken Girl was a person, like, how would you thank them? Like, what would you like to say to them?
I think building a team, I was so new to that. I would definitely do things differently and just like how I grew the team. But I was so new to everything that
sure.
I really there was no template. There's no one's guiding you. Even my mentor really was not building a full staff. She was
Right.
just more so writing and doing similar things to me. So it was a lot. I would say, you know, don't.
And for a young person
Yeah.
and a woman, honestly,
Yeah.
like that
Oh,
makes
yeah,
a
that's
difference
a factor.
too.
I
Yeah.
hate to, you know,
Yeah.
bring that up, but it does. And I would say there are a lot of people that will feel certain types of ways about you just putting yourself out there.
For sure.
It's not even
Really?
personal. I
Yeah.
mean, not even me, but just I think with anyone that's an influencer or
Yeah.
writes or, you know, when someone is out there, they seem like they're fair game.
Yeah.
But I would say, you know, persevere. Consistency is key. That was my biggest thing. I wrote, especially in the beginning, every day.
Yeah.
You know, I did all the things now that we all do.
Yeah.
Right.
But consistency is key. It is just, you have to be committed to your craft. That's a big Gary Vee thing, I feel like, too.
Yeah.
You know, you just don't take a break for 3 weeks. Like,
Right.
you have to continue. So,
I think that's good advice.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot, though, that, you know, you look back
You
and
could
you're
probably
like, why
pick
did
it
we do
apart
that?
at the time.
Yeah.
There's a few. I did have a podcast at one point. That was actually really fun.
Yeah.
So, you know, but there's so many things that you could always do something that someone tells you to do, but go with your gut of what, because people have lots of ideas. If you start a business, they're going to have lots of ideas for you. Like just
Right.
people random, unsolicited advice all
Yeah.
the time.
We know.
Yeah.
Oh, you should do this. You should talk about this. You
Yeah.
should do it. And you just have to say, this is what I want to do, and this is why I'm doing it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mentor says that literally all the time. He was like, even if it's the wrong decision, it has to be yours because at the end of the day, then you fucked up. He was
Yeah.
like, because if somebody else tells you to do something and you do it and it fucks up,
They're not
then it
gonna-
wasn't even
100%.
your idea.
They're not going to take the blame.
Yeah. He was like, you're going to learn yourself. He
Yeah.
was like, he always makes the thing. He's like, you should be failing. He's like,
Yeah.
you should literally fail
Oh,
once
yeah.
a week. Like,
and I always tell everyone, if you want to do something on your own, you need to work in corporate first. That's like one of my big things. You really do. So, you know,
I'll stick it through.
yeah. But corporate is a place you can learn how to create an environment. If you want to be a leader, you can see like what I do like, what I don't like,
Right.
you know, all those things. And I would tell anyone looking to get into any type of field, regardless, on their own, you need a template. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
I didn't have one, but working in corporate, it really helped me say, okay, I can do this.
Right.
You know, so
that's awesome.
yeah.
Well, I
it's
think
a
you're
big one.
great.
Yeah, we think you're great. We're big fans.
Thank you. No, it's really such a gift to be able to run Hoboken Girl and the Montclair Girl. You know, there's ups and downs in anything, but honestly, we are so we're so lucky to have such a cool community and just people be so excited about most of our content. You know,
Yeah.
so
Oh, that's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's a journey.
Yeah, that's
Never
for sure.
Well, thank you for coming on. This has been really
Yeah,
great.
thank
It's
you
very
so
eye-opening.
much.
Yeah.
Please check out Hoboken Girl. If you
and the
see
Montclair
Jen,
Girl.
Yeah, and if you see Jen in public, buy her a coffee or something.
No.
Yes. Say hi. Be like, we love your work.
I'm gonna hide.
Rescue all the dogs.
Yes, rescue all the dogs. Definitely check out The Hive. That's one of our favorites.
But again, thanks for joining, and we'll
Yes.
see you next time.
Sounds good.
Bye.